Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Opposition MPs up pressure on GECOM for a new voters list and the resignation of Claudette Singh. AG to begin enforcement process to recoup millions of dollars in court costs owed by opposition. First of its kind, a $73 million learning lab commissioned for persons with disabilities. And Minister Dharmlal arrested, granted $1 million bail. Opposition lawyers call for government to stay out of probe. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Aletha Grant with the Tuesday, June 20, 2023 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what we're following this evening. Swinging Claudette must go. Those were the chants of opposition supporters who took to the streets in front of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, once again to protest, as they called for a clean voters list and for GECOM's chairwoman, Claudette Singh, to go. The leader of the opposition is adamant that the country cannot and will not enter the general elections in 2025 with a bloated list. Renata Burnett was at the protest and filed this report.
Behind me are supporters of the Partnership for National Unity as they continue their protests in the vicinity of GECOM, calling for a clean voters list, biometrics, and most importantly, for GECOM chair Claudette Singh to go. On Tuesday, members and supporters of the opposition assembled in the vicinity of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM Georgetown, as they renewed calls for a clean voters list, biometric systems, and the resignation of GECOM chair Claudette Singh. Reports of alleged fraud and dead voters have demolished the opposition's confidence in GECOM's ability to be fair and transparent, hence the agitation for change. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton said a clean official list of electors, OLE, must be presented, as he's adamant that the party cannot go to general elections come 2025 with a bloated list.
We are going to continue to pressure Claudette Singh and GECOM to get a clean voters list. We will also engage the international community, and we will roam this country village to village, mobilizing people against this present elections commission.
As it relates to the conduct of the recently held local government elections by GECOM, Norton said the commission is not fit to run an election in its current construct.
GECOM is a complete mess. If I were Claudette Singh, I would have resigned. If I were the CEO, I would have resigned. They are incompetent. And as we go through the results, you've seen the miscalculations and all sorts of things.
Member of Parliament Coretta MacDonald alleged that the actions of the Ali-led administration were fraudulent and dishonest during the elections process.
We even saw the Vice President apologizing to people for putting their dead mother's name. So it means that the whole cabal, they're fraudulent and they're dishonest. So we've got to call on them to go. If you can't do the decent thing, then you have to go. Who must go?
Supporters of the opposition, until a new voters list is presented, biometric systems, and the resignation of GECOM chair Claudette Singh is done, these protest actions will continue. I'm Renata Burnett reporting to you from GECOM for the HGP Nightly News.
Now that the police has launched an official probe into the rape allegations levied against local government minister Nigel Dharmlal, attorneys at law Roycedale Ford, Kamraj Ramjatan, Geeta Chandan Edmund and Amanza Walton Desir are calling on government not to intervene. More from Antonio Day.
The call for an impartial probe from the group of lawyers come amid rape allegations of a minor being levied against Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Nigel Dharmlal. On Monday, the minister proceeded on administrative leave. Hours later, following the launch of an official investigation, Dharmlal presented himself to the Braedam police station in the company of his attorney, Nigel Hughes, and was arrested. He was subsequently placed on $1 million station bail. According to Human Services and Social Security Minister Dr. Vindya Prasad, the Child Care and Protection Agency, CCPA, is also carrying out a full probe into the allegations of sexual misconduct.
A forensic interview report has been compiled and will be submitted. And we are following every protocol that we usually do whenever any such allegation is made. So I will say that much, and we are following it to the letter.
Attorneys at law, Royce Ford, Kemrat Ramjatan, Geeta Chandan Edmond, and Amanda Walton Desir were on the picket lines on Monday, lobbying for the government to keep its hands out of the investigations.
Of the citizens in relation to the role that the government is playing through the Commissioner of Police, through the Home Affairs Minister. This is a political office holder who exercises tremendous power, and the President should ensure that he distances himself and his government from it.
In law, an impartial investigation can seamlessly be conducted once there is no undue influence, Geeta Chandan Edmond highlighted.
One that will be free from any sort of undue influence, and that is extremely necessary here, that the investigation is impartial, and I trust that will happen. What I'll say to Minister Ben is allow the investigation to happen. Don't try to influence the process.
Former Security Minister Kemrat Ramjatan reminded that the police force, who are the custodians of public security, should at no point attempt to pervert the course of justice.
The police force sent a superintendent to go take a statement from the girl that she was speaking untruths. The Police Service Commission should call in that superintendent and discipline him. You do not do that in the nature of the circumstances of a little child and sexual offenses.
Antonia Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
A neighbor of 47-year-old Ian Hernandez, who was allegedly stabbed to death by his son, has described the man as a very good person who assisted the community. Nightly News' Tiana Cole visited Sapphire, Greater Georgetown, and filed this report.
47-year-old Ian Hernandez, the laborer of Lot 509 Seafield, Sapphire, Greater Georgetown, was allegedly stabbed to death by his son over food on Father's Day. Hernandez's neighbor Herma Williams explained that she was in bed when she heard a loud noise. Upon investigating, she saw police vehicles, and it was then she was informed that the 47-year-old laborer had been stabbed.
Was his son or the father? They said no, not the son. The son stabbed the father, and he's dead in there.
Police said Hernandez, a Venezuelan national, lived in Sapphire with his wife and his 20-year-old son, who has a mental illness. It was reported that an argument ensued between Hernandez and his son over food, during which the young man armed himself with a knife and dealt his father a stab to the back of his left thigh. The neighbor, who said she is still in shock over the incident, described Hernandez as extremely helpful to neighbors.
Very good neighbor, no bad reports at all. If I send me, I don't think me. Morning, very nice neighbor, very nice.
She relayed that a younger Hernandez would usually abuse his father. On one occasion, another neighbor reportedly had to take possession of a piece of wood the son was using to beat his father.
Yeah, fell down, and his clothes was full of mud. And he was afraid to go back in the house. I told him, I said, come, I'm going to give you a cap and a slipper, and to go to the station to make a report. But no police came.
The 20-year-old man remains in police custody, assisting with investigations. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The first of its kind learning lab for persons living with disabilities was commissioned on Tuesday. The facility seeks to equip persons living with disabilities with technical and vocational skills through free training programs so they can be financially independent. More details in this report.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad, commissioned the Learning Lab at Mahaika on the east coast of Demerara on Tuesday. The facility, which was built to the tune of $73 million, seeks to provide persons living with disabilities with technical and vocational skills so they can be financially independent. In delivering the feature address, Minister Prasad noted that the facility was a well-thought-out one, which included consultations with persons with disabilities.
Given our government's vision in working along with persons living with disabilities, not only to provide facilities and amenities, but also to work towards the attainment
of various sustainable development goals.
The minister added that the government intends to increase safety nets and increase allocation for persons with disabilities.
If we are to really be inclusive, and our government believes in inclusivity very much, every person living with disability must not be seen outside. They must be seen as part of us, as part of this human family, and their needs must not be too many. Their needs must be things that we can provide, and we must never stop providing.
Meanwhile, Acting Director of Social Services Abiki Samuels said the Ministry of Services and Social Security is committed to improving services for persons with disabilities.
Oftentimes, this vulnerable group is neglected by society. But we are doing all that is necessary to ensure they live a meaningful life, void of discrimination, and to ensure they have equal access to opportunities.
Renata Burnett reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned, more news after this break.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz, you can get it. We got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and stack it. At Quartz, you can get it. Wash your dryer, wash it, fluff it, spin it, dry it, clean it, fold it, wear it, sort it, and soak it. Rinse it, load it. SDA gon' make you blend it, crush it, toast it. At Quartz, you can get it.
We at SNL Electrical Agency believe that a good design begins with a great lighting plan. From ambiance lighting to statement chandeliers. Trendy LED fixtures, we've got it all. Layering your homes with lights is the key to creating spaces that welcome, comfort, and inspire. SNL Electrical Agency, importers and distributors of all electrical lamps, solar lights, cables, circuit breaker panels, AC units, and so much more. SNL Electrical Agency, 179 to 180 Thomas Street, Kitty. Telephone 226-3018, 223-1634.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Welcome back. You with the HGP Nightly News. Attorney General Anil Nandlal is set to begin an enforcement process to recoup from the parliamentary opposition millions of dollars awarded by the courts following several unsuccessful cases filed. This could include going after the movable and immovable assets of the claimants. More in this report.
Moments after a judge dismissed the opposition's challenge to the passage of the Natural Resource Fund bill on Monday, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal told reporters that his chambers will now be enforcing the cost orders made by the court in all the cases lost by the opposition.
I now have a pile of them because it's a series of cases that have been filed by the opposition, all lost, right from the CCJ, from the elections petition coming right down.
The AG said when frivolous and vexatious actions are filed and the court expresses displeasure, orders for the costs must be paid in full. He highlighted that his chambers can go after the claimant's movable and immovable assets. If that option does not work, there are other steps that can be taken according to him.
You can go to imprison them if you can establish that they have the means to pay and they are deliberately not paying. I think that that can be established. These are salaried employees. And another process that comes to mind is that you can go to their, for example, their employers.
Nandlal claims that he has written letters of demand to the opposition, which were all ignored. Meanwhile, Attorney-at-law Royce Dilford, senior counsel, in a telephone interview with this newscast, stated that the majority of the matters are being appealed. His clients will respond appropriately to the Attorney General, he said.
Most of those matters are on the appeal, and we will deal with them at the appropriate stage.
Over the last 2 years, the parliamentary opposition has filed a number of cases against government, which they failed to win. Court costs were awarded in each case. Guyana's High Court on Monday upheld the validity of the Natural Resource Fund NRF Act, which was the subject of litigation brought against the government by main parliamentary opposition member, Chief Whip Christopher Jones, and trade unionist Norris Witter. In December 2021, opposition MPs dislodged the parliamentary mace from its position at the desk of the clerks of the National Assembly and protested in an attempt to prevent the Natural Resource Fund bill from being passed. They then claimed that due to the absence of the ceremonial mace, the passage of the bill could not be deemed lawful. In dismissing the application, Justice Navendra Singh ordered each of the applicants to pay $250,000 in costs to each of the respondents. Anil Nandlal, Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, House Speaker Manzoor Nadir, Clerk of the National Assembly Sherlock Isaac, and the Parliament Office. On July 28th last, parliamentarians Christopher Jones, Ganesh Mahipal, Sherrod Duncan, Natasha Singh Lewis, Annette Ferguson, Vince Roy Jordan, Tabitha Saraba Haley, and Maureen Philadelphia were all suspended from the National Assembly. They filed legal proceedings to overturn the suspensions, but the matters were dismissed and they were each ordered to pay costs to the tune of $350,000 each to the 3 defendants on or before February 6, 2023. Tiana Ko reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The much-anticipated Guyana Restaurant Week returns with its 16th season. With 17 restaurants on the line, foodies and the public at large can expect a vibrant culinary experience. Renata Burnett has the details.
Guyana Restaurant Week, GRW, is finally here, and for 10 days this week, food enthusiasts can look forward to their favorite restaurants, offering a special menu at a low price. The 16th season of the Guyana Restaurant Week was launched on Monday at Bistro Cafe and Bar, Waterloo Street, Georgetown. President of the Tourism, Hospitality and Association of Guyana, TAG Omadeli George, said GRW has become a much-anticipated event on TAG's calendar, offering a delightful taste of Guyana's vibrant culinary landscape.
It is an opportunity for talented chefs and restaurant owners and mixologists to showcase their creative passion and the true essence of Guyanese cuisine.
George said as the latest edition of this culinary extravaganza is embarked on, it is important to recognize the resilience and dedication of the hospitality industry.
GRW is not just a celebration of our culinary heritage, it is a testament to the spirit of collaboration and unity that exists within our industry. It is a reminder that by working together, we can achieve greatness.
Restaurant Week over the years has done justice to the culinary exposition that Guyana wants to create for tourists and Guyanese alike, according to Director of Guyana Tourism Authority, Kamral Bash.
The reviews are generally good, but what would be most welcome is more diversity into the menus. And that's one of the things. We've been working with some specialists to design more itineraries and tours.
The 16th season of the GRW runs from June 23rd to July 2nd. 17 restaurants are said to be on the lineup in a number of regions. Lunch specials start at $3,000, while dinner can be enjoyed from $6,000 to $8,000. RS53 Restro Bar and Lounge, The Flame Restaurant and Grill, Jack's International Grill and Agman Indian Restaurant are among the food establishments on the list for the 10 days experience. Renata Burnett, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
If all goes according to plan in the next 7 months, some 600 students will be housed in a new modern secondary school. On a Tuesday, the Ministry of Education signed 6 contracts to the tune of $560.7 million for the rehabilitation of the St. Mary's High School. Like the Christchurch Secondary and St. George's High Schools, the new school will be outfitted with a number of prevention mechanisms. Antonio Day filed that report.
The construction of the 3-story building is expected to be completed in 7 months. The contracts were signed at the Ministry of Education's boardroom located at 26 Brickdam, Georgetown by Permanent Secretary, Mr. Alfred King. Education Minister Priya Manichan, in her brief remarks, described the initiative as another step towards achieving universal secondary education.
This is another step in taking us closer to universal secondary education. So what we want in Guyana is for every child, wherever they live, to be able to access secondary education universally. That means all over Guyana.
She revealed that hopefully by October or November, the North Rhine-Veld Multilateral School will be completed.
And later in the year, around October, November, we're expecting to get North Rhine-Veld Secondary.
Once completed, the upper flat of St. Mary's High School will accommodate 10 classrooms, while the second flat will house 12 classrooms, along with a teacher's staff room and a sanitary block.
10 classrooms upstairs. You'll have 12 classrooms at the middle flat. And downstairs, you'll have 6 labs or laboratories with including ICT, technology lab, and of course the industrial arts facility.
The lower flat will be equipped with 6 laboratories, including labs for information technology, home economics and industrial technology, canteen, and the auditorium. It will also be equipped with a number of fire prevention methods such as fire escape exits, escape doors, fire alarms, extinguishers, limited timber usage, metal ceilings, and fire retardant panels. K&S General Construction Inc. and A. O'Gracine and Sons General Contracting Firms are among the contracted companies. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. More news on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Cleanup, we can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz, you can get it. We got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and stack it. At Quartz, you can get it. Wash or dry, rinse it, load it. FDA gon' make you blend it, crush it, toast it. At Quartz, you can get it.
You with the HGP Nightly News. Thanks for staying with us. The Ministry of Natural Resources has announced the release of the drafted Petroleum Activities Bill for public consultations. Here is more.
The bill replaces the Petroleum Exploration and Production Act 1986, which was deemed archaic. It aims at modernizing the legal and regulatory framework related to the petroleum sector. It introduces significant improvements and safeguards related to safety, emergency response, among other components. The bill is expected to be supplemented by a set of regulations that in the coming months will provide the government with the necessary toolbox for responsible and efficient management of the petroleum activities locally. Stakeholders are tasked with ensuring that the terms of the draft petroleum agreements released in association with the first offshore licensing round are aligned with the provisions of the Petroleum Activities Bill. People's Progressive Party Civic General Secretary Barry Jagdeo recently said that the drafted bill was expected to be released on Monday, June 19. Antonia Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Vice President Barrett Jagdeo has disclosed that the government will soon be inviting tenders for a software to track real-time the activities on the various FPSOs. More details in this report.
During an interview on 94.1 Boom FM, Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo boasted about the many strides the ADI-led administration would have been making in the burgeoning oil and gas sector. In fact, the Vice President disclosed that the government would soon be going out to tender for a system to track the activities on the various floating production, storage, and offloading FPSO vessels.
Soon we're going out for tender to have a system that could track in real time what's happening on all these FPSOs. So that's the next wave of capacity building.
Further, Jagdeo added that once ExxonMobil headquarters is completed, the government will be able to monitor the operations remotely. He further stated that the government will be training Guyanese amid the labor shortage in the country.
We want the brightest ones to send off on marketing courses and stuff like that abroad. So if people are listening, they should look at the opportunities that are available.
The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is already conducting real-time monitoring and reporting of oil operations in the Stabroek Block. It has been noted that the real-time monitoring is a crucial element of regulating the oil sector. Tianako reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news with Renata Burnett.
Team Extra and the one-man bands present the band's birthday. Celebrating 30 years of one-man band in Guyana. 10 of the best one-man bands all across Guyana and New York for one night, one stage on Saturday the 24th of June 2023 at the National Park. Side attraction, Granny performs live. Dancing competition, walls 30,000. Dance hall 30,000. The oldest couple at the party wins $30,000. Early bird 1,500. Wow, stocks last. Ticket location, White Castle Fish Shop, Just Your Size Boutique, Orange Walk, Fireside Grill, Highway Cafe, Suicide Junction, and Extra Beer, Stabroek Market location. Compliments of Fireside Grill and Chill and Extra Beer. The band's birthday. Team Extra presents Creek Slag 2023 live on stage. Trinidad and Tobago, Lady Lava.
Yeah, you don't know it's Lady Lava, Queen of the Freak, and I will be live in Guyana on the 2nd of July. Aziza, Kusta, Linden Highway, I'll come out and represent.
Lady Lava.
You have a girl well I like him more. You have a girl well I like him more.
Granny. On Sunday, July 2nd at Aziza Kuza Creek. Early bird tickets $1,500. Wow, stocks last. Ticket location, White Castle Fish Shop, Just Your Size Boutique, Orange Walk, Fireside Grill, Highway Cafe, Suicide Junction, and Extra Beer, Stabroek Market location. Compliments of Fireside Grill and Extra Energy Drink.
Opposition ramps up pressure on GECOM for new voters list and the resignation of Claudette Singh. AG to begin enforcement process to recoup millions of dollars in court costs owed by opposition. First of its kind, a $73 million learning lab commission for persons with disabilities, and Minister Dharmlal arrested, granted $1 million bail. Opposition lawyers call for government to stay out of probe. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Alethea Grant. Thanks for watching.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led